Ja.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a lot of them. Obviously. Even in the dreidel, there's Godel Hayapoi, the Matria Menachem. But aber gehört Shames. Wo gefindest du dem Shames? So Shames is Rosh Tevis Shmoi Shel Moshiach. Shmoi Shel Moshiach is Mem Shin. Was ist der Shames? Shames ist der, was sind an alle Licht. Ist der, was sind an alle Neshames von ganz klar Israel.
Hey, is me aangefallen that I connected to that. Very good for me. That was that I'm zogt Hallel. Chanukah zogt een 8-tag Hallel. Und bei ihm zogt een 9-tag, weil man fängt an Chav Dalet, nicht mal even Chav Dalet.
Right.
Aber der Chav Dalet die geben Hallel, dass doch nicht anabrochen, dass nicht findet der Kannes von Chazal dämmelt, dass es gekommen von Kannes von Frieden haben. Aber so sagen wir jeden Tag dillen. So this mamish parallel to the menorah. The menorah has eight lichtelig, and then a 9. So what are the 9? The 9 sind the 9 Rabbeim. Fangt gewoon van Baal Shem Tov. Dat is de Chanukah, bis Friediger Rebbe. Steht er als Yosef, the Inge van Chanukah, shaykh to Yosef, as learning in the Rebbe Marash's Maimer. That's why it comes out Parshas Vayeshev. The Rebbe Marash says, because shaykh to Yosef is Yosef the Dargef and Shmini. That's why he comes Shmini Atzeres. So that's 8. And was it the 9th? The 9th is Gili von Atzmus. That's why it's not Kodesh like all the other Nechte. Also, the Kedusha fehlt sich etwas, dass noch dort 2 Sachen. Welt mit Alakus und noch dort ist ein Adarge von Abgetrogenkeit. That's but 9 is Emes. The Emes von alles. Und them, and that Indian is tackelt sind on alle andere Licht. And that is like we're thinking like the Rebbe spoke about Vachamishis. That the 5th year, it's you can eat the paydas regularly. It's not even kedusha. You don't even have to go to Eretz Yisrael. Mashiach is an adarge wie alakus is alt and alt is alakus bepashtes. There's no union of havdalah and separation. So that's interesting, connected to the idea that you're saying Shamas the Shmoi Shel Mashiach.
Und Frau sagt man mina Meitza Karasi Yudke. Was ist mina Meitza Karasi Yudke? Yechia Melech. Now, all right, let's go.
In any case, we have over here with us Rabbi Stolik, and I met him last week when I came into 770. Literally for a few minutes, I was planning to come in just to touch base on Yutas Kislev because I flew in to speak somewhere. So I ran into 770, and in the course of me going in, there was such dancing there. I'm a chayyig event, so it's a mamash lift. But then I met Rabbi Stolik, and we had a little conversation. And based on that conversation, he sent me some things, and then I reviewed them, and I felt it's really worthwhile for the Minatzchim to listen up and to think that maybe he's up to something very, very, very powerful. And hoffentlich, mit was licht Satan, darf schon zufertigen. There might be a little bit of a key to something over here. So Rabbi Stolik, sag pich.
Hear me? Guys?
Not clear. We hear you, but not clear.
You hear me better?
A bit better.
I'm not struggle with Zoom. It's my regular voice. It's not coming out regular?
Oh,
Now it's pretty good.
I hear a terrible background.
There is a background type of thing here.
Background noise.
And you, do you have a phone open together with your computer?
So how do I do that?
You have to close your phone, but don't close your computer.
What should I do?
You have it on. You have the Zoom on the computer and on your phone?
No,
No, just on your phone?
on the computer.
On the computer. Okay, so I don't know. All right, speak.
Okay. Erste Sache ist Chanukah.
Oh, here's so clear.
Chaim Livracha.
Chaim.
Inspiration of Chanukah, like a little sense of complete.
No, we're not hearing. We have to fix something.
There's
over here.
something's wrong.
Maybe go out and come back in.
Yeah, go out and come back in.
Sag Yosef Beseisel und sag noch einmal Chaim. Der Rebbe hat gesagt, nur bei der ersten Hookup. Es ist nicht gegangen dort. Das war Yosef Beseisel.
Yeah.
Looks like the Olam is busy with Chanukah.
Right for this, oh?
Hashem, we had a lighting last night. And we're going to
Amazing.
Mashiach.
Amazing the amount of lightings around the world this year.
Thousands.
I don't know, it seems to be was der Relem wächst und der Relem tut.
So wie Jutas Kistle wächst, brecht euch überall.
He's given up them Europe. There's more reporting about it. Other Pasha, there's more things happening.
So, man muss sagen,
Hakel.
yeah.
Der Rebbe hat gesagt, Hakel. He's connecting.
Yeah.
Still hear the background noise?
Still a bit, yeah, I'm not sure why.
I'm going to change locations. Give me 1 minute. Go out. Give me like, give me like 2 minutes. I'll be somewhere else.
Maybe it's something with the mic. Maybe adjust the mic on your computer itself. Did you ever adjust it? I don't know.
You must have a 4-year-old in the house, no?
Exactly. A 2-year-old. What 4-year-old? 2-year-old.
That's what I do. I have a problem, I call my Erik.
Simon as a hot up is good to sagen.
You took it out of my mouth. Asimas go I could sagen. As ever Lamas Vesteren, muss es ein go good.
So I'll tell you the background story. So I was in 770, I met him, and he was very excited. And he shared with me this, they started telling me, and he was there. So I told him, I don't have a head now. I have to run. I never knew. The next night I have to bring again in Florida. So I said, he gave me something to read. I said I would read it the next day on the plane, and I didn't. Then I was leaving Florida after Yutas Kislev coming back to. So on the way back, they canceled there was the connection flight. There was a problem. It was a long delay, a few hours. And I was notified already in Florida that would be the connection flight was a few hour delay. And they gave me options to change it. So I selected an option because I didn't want to stay in an airport for 5 hours in the middle of Denver. I said I might as well stay on the ground in Florida. I'll stay there longer and so I'll have less. Anyway, so I flew instead of through Denver, I flew through Houston. So then I on the whole plane ride, I read his piece and I was very blown away. And then I noticed that the flight that I was on was flight 358. I'm a dumb and off Mashiach. The Rebbe is off Mashiach's flight. From all the flights, the one that goes from Fort Lauderdale to Houston, not Houston, Houston, Texas is 358. And United flies so many flights. Flooding Dafka on 358.
So maybe give us a background. What did you read about? No, Efshatak and Zagapis before. He's not even on yet.
So what he's basing it a lot on is that his take is that the Rebbe Yud Gimel Tishrei in Tavshem Memches is given a astonishing Fabringen. The Rebbe spoke about Hakel, and the Rebbe launched a campaign demos that the Rebbe was going on and on with all kinds of eitzes, what we should do to set up a central command and how to make hackles and more hackles and hackles. And the Rebbe said everybody should send in a paper that's a tefach al tefach. The Rebbe was giving eitzes and eitzes. So he has a whole insight, if he's back with us, that the Rebbe was really talking, and it seems like that campaign never took off. It was like a massive. I don't want to say chas v'shalom, but it wasn't a success. Nothing happens from that. So he's saying that you can see certain. I don't want to take the punch out of it. That the Rebbe is talking about now, and the campaign is really related to social media, as we're going to see soon. And it's a hakel, and in the hakel is already okay. Here he is. I don't want to give away everything, but this is the nekuda that you're asking me to give you a little preview.
Oh, is this better now?
Oh, much better.
Sekum daduras. Go.
Just to start over with a little tachlis. I used to go for years on the Hakil Kihilois. They had started Taf Shenun, Mitzvah Hakilis. So at a certain point, started going with the Bacher. I went for years. Nice couple of years. I never, ever spoke on the Hakil Kihilois. I always got a Bacher to speak. I was always afraid. My son actually is going now. He's not even bar mitzvah. He's already talking. But anyway, so that's enough Hakel. So first of all, Chanukah and Hakel is a big connection. The Chanukah is everyone knows is connected to Sukkot. Then Tashim and Ches, Shnas Hakel, the Rebbe spoke. Mem Aleph Shnas Hakel, the Rebbe started speaking on every night of Sukkot, everybody knows. And Mem Ches, the Rebbe spoke also every night of Chanukah, Keshet Shnas Hakel. And the connection to Sukkot and Hakel is very, very known. Mem Ches have made the Seidah on Zeis Chanukah. So we're now in Chanukah and Hakel. It's very much a thing. In Tavshim Tes, there's an amazing sikha. They printed it now in the Ali Hagah. I don't know if anyone knows about the Ali Hagah. Comes out every week now. They come out a new sikha or a mimer with the Rebbe's Hagahs on it. Anyone ever saw it? This is the Maftech. They put it out. You can get on the WhatsApp. If you want, I can send you a link. You can get on, or I don't know, get the guys that put you on. It's made it to Gezachen. You have to have time for it. Not all the Hagahs are amazing, but there are quite a few amazing ones. I mean, like a fun das Tachten. So they put out a sikha from Tashmem Tes that for these that are into Mashiach, it's a Moed de Gezach. The Rebbe talks, there was Parshas Vayishlach Teslav Kislev. The Rebbe talks there about Hamaisu Iker, that what's Dinu Hacham Kochem? We have it. This has a few things we have to do, especially to get ready for the Gula Mitzvah Shlema, like Lashon of Tziddik Rebbe, Dinu Hacham Kochem. That this is a practice. Dinu Hacham Kochem is L'Klal Yisrael, L'Kol Yachid V'Yachid. That we're also saying even do Lashon Rabbim to every Yid, because every Yid has to gather all his inyanim. And also to the Rabbim. So Yutas Kislev, which is one day, the Ikar Gasha has to be we get the Kol Yachid V'Yachid. And Yimei Chanukah, which is 8 days, that Gasha is when they get the Rabbim, Kal Yisrael. It's actually Hagah that writes, they wrote in the get the Rabbim, they wrote Ve'ad Kal Yisrael. You need to say, Rebbe's view is Kal Yisrael Kipshita, not just the Rabbim Kal Yisrael, we're talking is Kal Yisrael, in speeches, say Kal Yisrael, you mean the Rebbe's Kal Yisrael Kipshita. But anyway, in the footnote, in the Hashlamas to the Secher, the Rebbe says like this: that the text yourself, it's personal and it's quicker. You can do it in one day, but the effect Rab means several days. And the Derech HaTzachos, when someone wants to pearl something, the even in the Hachman Kochem by Kama Anoshim, you can I'll read the Lashon. Yachel Litin Loi. Mashimcha, question mark, exclamation mark. Ploini, Ploi Apta, Tzarech Lifa B'inyin Zeh, exclamation mark. Chene Eitza, Hayutza, Lifa B'inyin Zeh, Meshach Kama Yamim. V'im arishin yeh poini yeshiv reish. V'im hasheni yeshiv reish mishu achar v'keitzah b'zeh. So Chanukah, the Rebbe says, is the time to be poil on Rabban Yisrael. And the Rebbe gave an interesting suggestion that you should, give everybody a chance. As we started saying over here in the Sikha, that the first thing that Perlohan is the Chalein. So the most important thing is focusing on the Zichalein.
Whoever's typing, please mute yourself. Thank you.
The last bringing from Vayakhel, which actually I remember this Shas that was saying it. They spoke about big shturim about Ahavas Yisrael. I remember getting like a chill when the Rebbe said this Nekuda. The Rebbe spoke about Ahavas Yisrael, how the whole bringing was all about Ahavas Yisrael. That what's the Hirach from Vayakhel? I'm reading here from the Sichas Kodesh that when a Yid meets another Yid, or he looks around him and he sees another Yid, so right away is Misyachad with Misyachad Ivil Mitzias Achas Mamish. He's Makam Mitzvah after the Chakambaicha. Kimin Shemaka or Margish, Ba'adla HaKara Bargosh, Pnimis Mafshish, Shneim Mitzias Achas Mamish, Chavakal Mamish. This is the Rob, this case by Yaakov. This is what do you have to walk out with the Sebringen? You look at another Yid, how are you supposed to look at another Yid? You have to have a goldic look on another Yid. You have to take on the main change has to happen is within us, that we have to start looking from a goldic place. It's interesting that if I may add one more thing about now we're coming now after Corona. This Shnas Hakil kommt doch nach Corona. And one of the things Corona did is that it took us out from all our chitzenistic zaken. And every shliach was busy with polis and making parties and making Chanukah parties and minyanim and this. Corona, stopped everything, and we were able to focus a lot more on the inside. Do a proper hackle.
Types really well. Who's typing so
I'm
well?
trying to figure out who it is. Please, whoever is typing, please mute yourself. Mute.
Ruben, I think it's your mic.
No, it
Mike
sounds
is
like
making
typing.
I'm not typing.
Somebody's
I
typing.
try it. I'll mute myself and maybe it'll be.
No, it
quiet.
stopped.
Okay.
It stopped already. It stopped.
Anyway,
Okay.
the good is that I think this Hakil, now that we're coming after Corona, the main Baruch Hashem, I think we're able to focus a lot. The main challenge is the inner Hakil that has to happen, between the person himself and the Eibishter and putting things in the right place, and then we can go out to the world and take it over. So the Rebbe says first you does Kislev, and then you come to Chanukah, you come to the Indachal Kuchem and get to the Tzibur. So now I'm going to get to Yanigol Mashiach. So and Hakil. So Chav Chasivin, Chav Chas Nisin, the Rebbe said that he's giving it over to every one of us. Which Kacha Pratis I happened to be with that Sicha Mamish with Echnes, because it was in the middle of Seder, should have been in Seder that day. And if once you're in Seder in Troy Avenue, you don't run to the middle of Sicha, you don't run to 770. The point I was on the way and I ended up being at the Sicha. So the Rebbe said over there that everybody knows this. He used to chazer like this. First the Rebbe said 10. Then the Rebbe realized he can't do 10. So then he said at least 3, Einet Zwei Drei. Like he went down to 1. And that's how people used to chazer the Sicha. And then the Rebbe, then people also chazer like this. They say, first the Rebbe says, Einet Zwei Drei, 8 Segevin. And no one gave 8, and the Rebbe said, I'll give my own 8. So the Rebbe said, Yom Mashiach. That's one way of learning the Sicha. There are many ways of learning Sichas. And it could all be trumas probably. And one of the things we learned is when the Rebbe writes a letter, or the Rebbe says a Sicha, you could read it. It's like by Neicha Shem Leikacha. When the Rebbe when the Eivish said Neicha Shem Leikacha, the Eivish spoke to each person individually. So yeah, the Einige had to kavanah to him. And also, if every time the Rebbe says Teire Nitzchis, every time has its meaning. It means, and sometimes over time you realize there's levels and levels and levels to what's been said and it's so to me, I take the Sikha Chachasiv very simple. That it's 10 people akshanim. That's one thing. 10 dimensional action it, and then the Rebbe says 3 people is Eitz Gevin, and Eitz Gevin is not is if the Rebbe knew is giving an Eitz next 2 weeks from then about learning Yom Mashiach. What do you need to say that I Eitz Gevin? So to me, Rebbe obviously was also something besides learning Yom Mashiach. There was something else there. Obviously, to give an Eitz of Yanigol and Mashiach, it needs to be with, again, as you have to come from a place of Gula. A place of Gula, a thought process of Gula it has to be something that includes Kalam Yisrael. It has to be, it has to come from a Gula, like a place. If you want to bring Gula to the whole world, the Rebbe's cook of Gula, you have to have a Eitz. It has to come with a Gula. How do you say a Gula aspect of it? And what I'm trying to get to is to be. So Be'etzim, the Rebbe told us we should think ourselves. We should try to think what Gula is and think the process of Gula and try to think how do we bring that? How do we make Gula into the whole world? But on top of that, we also have words of the Rebbe that fit perfectly to this of finding an Eitz that had to bring Gula to the whole world. But to me, this idea of Hakel, Mitzvah Hakel, that Rebbe started in Tafshim Ches, can be used as a perfect Eitzah to what the Rebbe said. Rebbe himself, we know that Rebbe Hakel and Mashiach is a Chazal Inyan. And if the Rebbe came up with this idea, that it was flowing with ideas one after the other, if you listen to the bringing, how to go about bringing Hakel to the whole world. To me, this is this idea of throwing it in our hands and put out as again, making us in charge and empowering us. This is mamish the whole idea what the whole mitzvah Hakel is all about. And
you mentioned to me that if I can just for a moment, you mentioned to me that the pnimius of the pashtus of the Rebbe's campaign of Hakel Esa'am is the pnimius, a form of Kabbalah Samalchus. You mentioned to me, because who does Hakel if not for the Melech?
Right, we'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, getting lost.
Entschuldig.
Second. I'm not so ruggle in public dust.
You're doing great, the believe
Right. So I'm saying that Hakel, that you're talking about an Eitz through Mashiach, to me it's clear, right? But in order for to me, the way I see it, in order for it to work, to be able to take an Eitz, and this Eitz of the Rebbe gave on Hakel, and to really take it home, it needs Achdus. It needs a Mashiach to look from within, meaning to say, you need to be able to reach into a place of Achdus, Sai amongst Chassidim. It needs that entire, Chabad community at large. It needs to be able to come together and einwarfen to something that will literally take over the world. It's and also, and also like the Rebbe said in the and this connects to in Shnas Hakel. The Rebbe said about in order to after the Rebbe spoke Mitzvah Hakel in Gimel Tishrei, so right after, 2 days later by Sukkot, what did the Rebbe do? He held Lulav and Estek together, and he said this is something very, very difficult, and he wanted to matigish from Hakel bring all even together within. So, and then Rebbe explained how difficult it was. That to me, that Indian of bringing people to be able to to start within by Chabad. This means that Riachtas and Chabad. This is the meaning of Shach. If you read it, Barichis, I wrote it up in the share it later in the I called it the Bimla Gedela. No point in chazing with the ganze Sache. You can read it yourself over there. But to me, this is the number one thing. Asmul Zain, hacker within yourself, within Chabad, internally hacker in the Chanukah and the Gela Atzmai. I think once that's done, and we accomplish that, the rest is Kleingeld. We can take over the whole world if we're able to get the whole Chabad together, uniting in a mitzvah hakel and a derech mitzvah hakel that Rebbe made. Which interesting. The Rebbe then started. Rebbe started a mitzvah of shnas hakel. So if you think about it, the truth is, shnas hakel. The Rebbe after shnas hakel amches, the Rebbe didn't stop mentioning shnas hakel. Every pebrengen. Or many pebrengens, the Rebbe would always go back. They would say, "We're ready now in the Tolan base. We're ready now after Mtes for sure. Mtes, which comes after Shnas Hakel. Then Tafshinun, which is after Tafshim Mtes, which after Shnas Hakel. The Rebbe always went back to Hakel. They never let go of the idea of Hakel. And even then, the Rebbe said Mitzvah Hakel. They said, "While we're talking here, Shnas Hakel." It's clear from the Rebbe that Rebbe wasn't stuck only in Shnas Hakel for this Inyan. But hopefully take me a namish. But the point is that again, if the biggest challenge the Chayra would be if we can get everybody on board, everybody together to take this on. And it's not about me, it's not about you, it's not about the Mishachistin, non-Mishachistin, it's about Hakel, it's about the Rebbe, it's about bring everybody under the umbrella of Hakel, which is the Rebbe.
So if I can clarify.
I'm thinking an analogy. The Zionists, the Frum Zionists, they kind of, their whole thing is that they need to bring every single Yid to Eretz Yisrael. That's their whole life, basically. We're in Geula now, and every Yid must go to Eretz Yisrael, and they spend money and effort and time. There's no limit to the amount of energy they'll put in, get every Yid to Eretz Yisrael. Now, Ilu Yitzor, just a shaila theoretical question. Even if Ilu Yitzor Mashiach gets every single Yid to Eretz Yisrael, right? But he had to have no idea the guy to Eretz Yisrael because Malach Mashiach brought them or paid for them or whatever it was. I'm talking about the Apia Rambam. Is there not the halachically kibbutz galus? Obviously, it is. Every Yid to Eretz Yisrael, there's an kibbutz galus. Does it have to be? You can take it or leave it. I'm just thinking about this. The chura is the bottom line. Everyone's Eretz Yisrael. I would say the same thing is with Hakel. If you get every single Yid under the umbrella of Hakel, how much they know and how much they associated that they that have a picture on the thing that it's Hakel. Who's Hakel? The Rebbe is Hakel, and they came under the virtual. Today, everything is the reality. Today is virtual. Everybody came under the virtual umbrella of this Hakel campaign of the Rebbe. It's like you got everybody. You got everybody in Eretz Yisrael. You got everybody connected. The whole Klal Yisrael in a Hakel. What could be more than that? To me, this is like So, sorry, Ray Wolf, you were going to say something?
No, I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
What is being suggested is a massive Hakel universal campaign that is going to speak to Jews across all spectrums. And it's basically just asking that somehow we're all joining to unify. Yidden von alle Seiten, weil es ist Hakel. Yidden to make a kol godel. And the drivers of it is going to come from Lubavitch, but we have to figure out, and this is what I think has been mentioning strongly, is that Chabad unifies. The split that is in Chabad unifies in this Hakel effect. Now, even though there are those who feel that we have to scream Rebbe Melech HaMashiach off the rooftops and off everything, what he's trying to suggest over here is, and that's Hakel al HaMelech. But the point over here is that if I can add my little 2 cents, just like the Rebbe said that the Pnimius and the Shrei of Admasai really is ringing Yechi HaMelech. So in the rally of Hakel is ringing already the entire who's initiating this Hakel. So even if it's not spelled out, even if it's not explicitly stated. So if in that sense, all the guys that are strongly on the right can join together with the Kalim, the Tikkun on the left, to have probably the opportunity, the abilities to run a social media campaign that is so powerful and so strong, in which everybody can join together, and we're getting thousands of foot soldiers, and we're just being makal yidden. But what exactly would you define that hakel? What are the people doing when they're getting this message? Am I right? I don't know if this is right, but this is what I understood.
Yeah, you got it, but there's a lot more to it. Meaning to say as follows: you're not. The Hakel campaign is not about bringing. It's the idea is, as you said, bringing an entire Yidden. Most Yidden have no clue what Mashiach is. You want them to do Hakel. They have no idea. Many of them never even heard of Mashiach before. You know, they have no clue what Mashiach is. Never learned the Ramach Mashiach. They don't know anything. So you want to create something that's pure and accessible to everybody, which is everyone understands that they can take a leadership role in gathering Yidden and bringing them to do something good, something holy, something kedushidik, as much as possible. Everyone understands that in their little mind, whatever it is, and that's what you're aiming for every single Yid. You're not aiming for Lubavitch is not Mishchis, and you have to create something that's universally to be attached to, and everyone can feel as Zera Igna Inyan. Why? Because this is something like Chassidus. Chassidus is Erva Chayis. Chassidus is not coming to do any Chiddush. Chassidus is just adding an extra oomph to whatever you're doing. So you're a rabbi in a shul. You're running a school. So what's your point? You want the kids to be involved in something, to get involved. You want to teach them. So instead of just teaching them, you're empowering them. You're giving them a tool. You create a tool, and you're empowering them. And whatever they're doing, they should take it on and spread it and push it. So you're teaching them about the Shabbos and Kedusha, whatever it is. So you want the kids now to go out and go schlep their friends and to push that and make a hakel in every single environment, every single school, every single level, whether it's Chassidim, whether it's Nisnagdim, whether everyone can feel that it's Erech Hayis, it connects to them, and they can take it and run with it, and it's going to help them in their inyan, because you gave them that form that they can use to. And what happens is in today's day and age with social media, what happens is it's Malamakalamayla. You create something and it comes viral. That itself, the snowball effect, that brings the schlepped, the mayim that when you break through it, everything gets schlepped. It's such a power of social media, and you.
So if I can say something, we're giving very little content. Let the people fill their content with the content.
And if it's
we're giving the structure of unifying Yidden, and you're becoming responsible to unify Yidden to do a good thing. So we're creating
it in their way. The anti-Mishchestin choose it, and everyone can use it however they want to. The main thing is the structure is the Rebbe and Hakel, and that's the etzem, that's the shamish, as you said. The shamish, it's the ninth day. There's no kedusha there. It's just a structure, and you're giving everyone the whole entire structure. Like you said, the ninth is the Rebbe, which is the shamish, right? It's not holy, right? Everyone said about the Menayda itself that it's the etzem, right? That you're giving the structure, you created the structure for Achdus of Am Yisrael, and because it's etzem, it's not anything, and everyone could tap into however they want to. If you're a litvish, you'll push. One guy will push to eat shalosh shudas because of hakel, and one guy will say not shalosh shudas dafka lav malcha. They're all good. Yeah, who cares? It's not the shalosh shudas lav malcha. It's not the point. The point is hakel. The point is that you're empowering you under what happens. Every yid is still connected to the Rebbe, and Nasi Hadar is in every single. Now it went over Nasi Dakar, and everyone's powered. Everyone's responsible. And what happens is it's like sudden, everyone when each person buys into the hakel thing and he becomes a leader, he now connected to the Rebbe Shibatoichai, and he's mamshach it weiter. This is the idea, that structure. So again, everyone can share the
inyan of tefach that you shared with me and you wrote on the thing? I think it's very important.
Right. So what happened is I wrote the thing. Actually, I wrote it because I was praying with people over Tishrei, and then there was a guy from Minatzchim Chassidim that was in charge of Hakel, and he was working there. He told to tell your guy in Hakel, the Hakel guy, feed it over. And then so the guy actually called me. Said, "Could you tell me the whole thing?" I said, "Listen, let me write it down for you instead of you telling other people this. Let me just write it down. I started writing that. I said, look, this is not complete. This is just not lefarsin. So then came to Knesset Shlochim. I said, let me write it down more for Pirsum. But then after I wrote it down, I realized there's a lot more. And when I listened to the Sikha, it's be'erich more. So it's very clear from the Rebbe. The Rebbe is not reaching out to Lubavitch. The Rebbe is reaching out to the whole world, and Lubavitch is only one prat, which is a very important prat. But it's they basically wanted to reach out to every single Shivuk Tan and Shivuk Dil. Listen to the tape, Shivuk Tan and Shivuk Dil. And then they went on to say after the Rebbe started.
Talking about Yud Gimel, he's talking about Yud Gimel Tishrei. Sorry, just 1 second.
Tishrei,
He's talking about the Rebbe's Sikha Yud Gimel Tishrei. Hashem Ches.
The Rebbe devoted at least half, maybe most of the Farbrengen to Hakel and specifically to Mifsa Hakel in this Farbrengen. And as I both mentioned, that the pellet, Mamash pellet, how nothing came out of this whole entire thing. In the end of Tishrei, the Rebbe mentioned how they finally found someone to do it, and they was very excited about it. And happened to be they told there's a caveat how they told the Rebbe they don't have money, and the Rebbe said pay for half of the salary. I think it was Johnny Hackner, and she was the one that they used to call him. Maybe Zilberstein remembers in his days that they called him Hakel, maybe Johnny Hakel or Hakel. I don't know what they call it. It was a Hakel gate. Is that true, Rabbi Zusha? Do you remember anything like that? This is what I remember. Anyway, this is what I was told. Huh?
Yeah, no.
Anyway, Zemis? You don't remember. Anyway, the point is that he was the one in Chabad, you can say, it was the most technical savvy in those days with using phones and all this stuff. The most advanced. Interesting also happens to be that Chanukah is Chanukah Live from Tafshinun, Rebbe Geshturim wegen Chanukah Live, which is exactly this the of using technology which we have today, and bringing it in together from all over. They were very much Geshturim in them. So. And as we said, Chanukah and Sukkot are very much connected. This happened every Chanukah that was very into that. So my suggestion is that we should look very deeply into the words of the Rebbe in Tafshmem Ches, on the whole mitzvah Hakel. I'm not a big mumche in social media and all this stuff, but I strongly believe that beer is what do you call it? Is very clearly spelled out the whole shturim that I think we should adopt for this Hakel and as I said, an Eitzah had to bring Mashiach in a worldwide way to take over the ganze Welt. That's what I feel.
But what happened with you wanted to share? I want you to share the thing about the tefach.
Tefach. So I mean, it's the whole entire mitzvah. The whole entire mitzvah. I think this is really for that. But it's interesting. Again, listen to the Sikha. So after Rebbe put the whole thing out, and they already finished the Farbrengen, meaning to say they sang Shibana, and they sang the Dal Bavis, and they sang the Chatchaliver with the Tishrei. So then Rebbe says one more thing. I had another idea that this card that made this whole card thing, which actually also it's not in the Henocha that they printed. Rebbe described the card thing. The Rebbe said like this. The Rebbe said, for example, let's say you have Avram, and then you have Baruch. So where should the card go? You put it between Avram and Baruch. To me, this is
No. I think people don't know what we're talking about the cards.
No one knows the thing about Mitzvah Hakel.
Not everybody knows about the cards. So please tell.
I'd be surprised, but okay. Anyway, what the Rebbe said is that what's the actual mitzvah? The actual mitzvah is, what did the Rebbe suggest? That we find in the Welt that when people want to take on something, they write it down. So the Rebbe suggested that people should commit and write it down that they're taking on in Hakel. Then the Rebbe said that they should take all the cards and put them all together in one big, instead of making a sefer, it should be like a card system. And that
Index card.
Index cards that like this you can keep on adding. They never said should come till shishim riboy. That was the Rebbe's look till shishim riboy. And then the Rebbe said
That means that these people are accepting upon themselves to be a hakel yid, to do hakels.
Right.
Okay.
And the Rebbe said, but like this, the Rebbe says momentum. When everybody is part of something so big, it pushes more. Then the Rebbe said that that they should put all the cards together. And then the Rebbe said one more thing. If you're already making cards, you're already putting them all together, they should ask them for a phone number or something that they can be connected. They don't mind, they can be connected because then it has the mitzvah of them, not just taking upon themselves to do it. They're also
someone can follow up.
They can follow up. So it's mitzvah of them. It's even more powerful. So yeah. And then the Rebbe added, and then the Rebbe went on to say how each moised should have a person. There should be an office that arranges this whole thing. And the Rebbe said each moised should have the person, and that moised. It's interesting again in the Sikha, in the you listen to the bring, the Rebbe goes how the Rebbe gives away how you're supposed to have the moised do it. The Rebbe gives like a choice of 5 people, whether it's the head of the moised or that right now all the choices. A whole list of a hierarchy or choices how you could basically penetrate each moised. You're gonna try this door, it's not gonna be locked. You try that door. You try, so you have 5 different doors. How you can get into every moised, practically, that basically each moised should have the person that, as we said, he wants that it should be everyone to be involved. You're giving them away, so every moised you can get him involved. So from what I understand, from a practical point of view, we want to have numbers. You just attack every moised has like a few hundred people. Automatically, if you get one moised, it's a few hundred people added to the system. And each school you get, each school you get, automatically in the first 2 months you can get a ridiculous amount of people, sign up right away. And I've said each moised there should be, a person in charge, and they're in charge. They're on top of all the people that are taking it upon themselves to do it. And then the Rebbe suggested it should also publicize it in big newspapers. Again, this is the Rebbe's look, that it should be, worldwide. It should be a massive shturm. And the Rebbe was very, very clear not to put anything extra on this inyan. Meaning to say, to be very pure. Not every word that was calculating, how much what information. If they want to put their name, fine. Actually, Rebbe pointed out that it should be the Jewish name. Interesting point. And someone Rebbe said this, bring out the Jewish name, because the point here is bringing out the etzem, the connection to the Rebbe, the connection to Shiach. So you need the etzem, shmois, the name Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. Bring today's the etzem, the Jewish name. Now
Then he spoke about the size of the card. That's
the
what I
last
want.
thing I'm just saying. I'm bringing the whole Seder Hanyanim. Then the Rebbe said it's not just moistus, not Shirtani Shirdel, not just, and then it was organizations, and the Rebbe also mentioned Chabad organizations, the Rebbe started organizations, and much more so about organizations, and then the Rebbe said, B'chlal, any Jewish association that people get together already by Yid, everything is a Chidushkeit. So every organization that's available, it has to be connected to, it's already connected, it's better than connected to the mitzvah, so you have to use it out to push Hakel, to get everyone to be in charge, to sign up, to be involved in Hakel. I don't know exactly how they said it. And then the Rebbe said, here comes the last thing. The Rebbe says, it should be tefach al tefach. Wait, so again, back, I want to just clarify. So here we see again, the Rebbe's point is it should not have anything, no yechi, no not yechi, no, it shouldn't be like they have the one that's a campaign and it has Chabad. It should create an office, the Rebbe said, it should be an office that's in charge, but this office should be neutral and pure, that everyone can feel they can be part of it. So
not even Chabad name.
Should have an issue, huh?
Not even Chabad name. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. It should be named Hakel. That's it. It shouldn't have anything. Pure. It should have nothing extra on the thing. And everyone can attach. It should be an open that every single person, think about charity. Charity means Lubavitcher, right? But every organization in the world has no problem making a charity campaign. Everyone, who cares if Chabad runs it? It's a charity campaign. It's helping them to raise money. So here's helping them raise mitzvahs. Who cares? It gives them a platform. It gives them a framework they can use, and they can help themselves with it. So that's the idea. That and the last thing is that the Rebbe mentioned. So before the last thing, so basically the Nekuda is that it's, as we said, Kabbalah Samalchus, right? It's very clear in this whole Inyan that it's Kabbalah. When we did Kabbalah Samalchus in Tafshin and Aleph, whenever it was, when David Nachshon came out, we signed it one time and that was the end of it. I think I remember what my chota was, what it was. I did it in Afgatan, Over here is not Afgatan. Here you took upon yourself. It's the next level of Kabbalah Samalchus. You took upon yourself, and now you have follow-up. It's a very serious Kabbalah Samalchus here. You took it upon. There's a follow-up, which is an added point to the whole Kabbalah Samalchus here, which hackles like the Melech. And so then the last point that I pointed out was to be tefach al tefach.
The card should be a tefach al tefach. The card
should be tefach al tefach. And if you want to add another language as the Rebbe, it should be tefach al tefachayim. And
hear that? It should be tefach al tefachayim.
Right. Add another tefach.
And the Rebbe says, "Ayin b'lekuti Torah." Ayin b'lekuti Torah.
Like this, you remind yourself. You've been zboinin since it's your tefach. You've been zboinin the inyan from tefach, and the common dinim that are connected to the inyan of tefach. There is the sign to says, "Look in the Torah about chamisha shirim tefach," and then the Rebbe connects it also. This is also in the Torah that keshel bracha mabim and aretz tefach, and the Rebbe uses the word aretz, which really it says karka. In Nachas it says karka, and later it says karka. Everywhere it says karka, but the Rebbe uses the word aretz, and the Rebbe connected the idea that it picks you up, haped up, and kidua kedushim is that the Rebbe says, Koda is, what Wolf wants me to say is that I looked up at the Torah, I looked at the Gemara, what are the 5 things? It's a very complicated Torah. I didn't get a chance to properly go through the whole Torah, but the 5 things in the Gemara is Shalya, Shofar, Lulav, and Sukkah. And the 5th thing is Ezoi, which we had in just a couple of days ago, which is Shalya is a shear of Tumah. How do you know it's 40 days and now the lady is Tameh, that she was a Mapeles? Is that it was, if it's a Tefach, we know it was 40 days. Shofar is to hold it, to be handheld. The shofar has to have a size, hold it, and it has to be a Tefach. And then to blow also, 4 fingers and to blow. And then the Lulav is able to have the simcha of shaking. So you have to have a Tefach on top of the minim. And sukkah is you want to have the 4th wall, the 3rd wall. You need to have 3 lavud and another tefach make the 3rd wall. So, in the Torah there basically explains connects the from Binyan Malchus, shofar, lulav, and sukkah, from Binyan Malchus, which to me it was pashut that that was referring to cell phone, technology. This whole program works 1,000 times better with technology, and side the organization of all the cards together, Makar Merkazi, and you can watch the growth and momentum that comes with it, and
in other words, when the Rebbe is saying as if you're using other languages, it should be tefach al tefachayim. The cell phone is exactly a tefach al tefachayim. And today's days, we have an ability to make a hackle from the whole Jewish world through this device, which is this. Because it's generally, as you mentioned to me, it's not it's nicht as a kosher keli asachmol. We can just oifeden in dort them machen a binyan amalchus and bring the entire Jewish world together. So that's the.
But the kuda is that the first of the 5 things is shalya, which connects to tumah. That's the first of the 5 tefach. So you have to remember, as be careful. And durch dem kann machen binyan amalchus. As Rabbi Wolf, we both understood that the whole idea of a cell phone is connected to infra amalchus, from Zibur and Oisius and social media. The whole thing is all infra amalchus, which the whole is all based on numbers. Basically, they even have this melech. It all connects to following And then is Ezoi is with one you can throw a text and throw something with one little sprinkle, can a Metzora or a mace or you can throw a little bit of water of Matara, you can be Matara with an Ezoi, just the keli to use to Matara. So that's the episode become the 5 things that should Matefach. So everyone should look into the Sikha. You can see it's Bayudik. The point is,
my phone is exactly 2 tfachim. That's the Android. I don't know what you're using, but it's exactly two. I'm feeling it now. 2 tfachim up, 1 tefach hazoi. Darf in the Welt, and we can make a hakel. Adam Binyamin, you were waiting for this campaign the whole time. And then this we can take. Wait. If I know that people might be a little bit on the way. I have to leave, so I want to finish with this Takuda that he told me, which I thought is so powerful, because the Ikad Inyan, if you don't mind me jumping in, the Ikad Inyan, which doesn't allow Lubavitch to unify, is because everybody feels that sadly that the other group is anti-Iskashus. In other words, Meshachisten are believing that if you're not screaming Yechif on the rooftops, you're not whatever the Kach Melech HaMashiach, so you're not Mekusher. You're not Mekusher to the Sichas that Rebbe said, non Aleph, non Beis. Others are feeling that if you're acting hepech the Rebbe Zayros, not even Mefarsim Zaus HaMashiach, then you're breaking his kashrus. The Rebbe Befesh Nishkalos all the years that if you said that, the Rebbe said you're loichem again in Lubavitch and so on and so forth, and that's what's causing that Lubavitch is staying a rift, and we're not unifying. So what he brought out to me was very geschmack. When the Rebbe, the same time the Rebbe spoke about this hakel of getting all Yidden together, the Rebbe then took the esrig and the lulav, and the Rebbe held it together by Hallel, and the Rebbe said, Heramaisa, the Rebbe said, it's very, very difficult to me. Why is it difficult to me? Because I saw by the Friedige Rebbe that he would keep the esrog separate, and he only picked it up by this. So I'm doing l'chura and inyan, which is hepech kashrus, but for the hakel, I'm gonna go beyond my chassidische hergish, and I'm being moister nefesh my chassidische hergish of his kashrus to Rebbe in order for my hakel. So the Rebbe is kind of, it's a very geschmack idea, which is very powerful. We can't get over our iskashus to Rebbe, and that's what's causing the rift there. Der gleibt that does will the Rebbe, and der gleibt the previous nafshe does will the Rebbe. But if we can just be moichel, it's hard to say that. Like the Rebbe taught us that in order to make a hakel, to skip over our kanois, our zealousness in Iskashus, and say, listen here, we're going to join together, Mata Mashiach, alle die David Nachshon, alle die Chevre, and sich zusammenkommen with Merkaz and with the others, and we're going to do one massive, powerful social media. All Siddim are going to get behind. Alle people will pump it out. Yidden, just getting millions. Everybody becomes a hakel machine. That's the Nakuda. Pass it on. Others, Yidden should make non-stop events of hakel, and it doesn't have to even end at the year of hakel, but it shouldn't need so much time. If I'm touching upon it, Zusha, we don't hear from you. What's with the Darton? You're on mute.
I'm sorry, I had to respond regarding a prison visit. If I understand correctly, basically you're discussing the Rebbe's Hakel campaign, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
which the Hakel is the Zach.
What? Yeah, das hat aber Bo. Mein ganz Hakel is Melech.
Yeah.
The Hakel is kommt von Melech zu Melech.
Melech, like call go to Shuvahena, nicht da Melech.
That's right, the whole idea of Melech. I mean, there is a whole Mata Hakel. There is a Hakel happening in many places. I know that Tzrol is very, very into Hakel. Baruch Hashem hier in Montreal, Herzog Hakel ganz stark. The Junge Leid was Pashat, sozusagen, there is a VAR of Junge Leid and of Shluchim that work together in Inyan Hakel. There is a Hakel Elomi in New York. I'm not sure, maybe I missed out on something. I didn't get what is the punchline of what is the chiddush? What is the particular thing that you're suggesting?
In other words, what are we going to do more now than what has been driven? And how are we going to take that? Like, what kind of contribution are we going to make over here to the Hakil energy that's there already? How are we, like, what is being suggested over here? I think what's being suggested is it just the chibur of the two camps?
No.
Or what's the, because the pashtus, the Hakil has happened already.
Okay. So the answer to Rabbi Zushta's question is very simple. Right now, if a guy in Lakewood wants to become part of Hakil, he doesn't really know how to, because he feels out of it, because the Hakil Central of, I don't know what you're talking about, maybe Merkez, doesn't talk to him. He cannot attach himself to that Hakil. He wants to bring Hakil to his school. And as the Rebbe said, it has to create a momentum. Every Hakil, like Moshe Zayin said, the andere Hakil. We want to create this idea of social media today. That, every person that joins in, see, there's something called one mitzvah. But in social media, it doesn't work so well. Social media works, each person, each computer is nach mensch. They count people. You want that each person that's involved, another person, you can say numbers. This amount of people in Montreal is getting involved, this amount of people in Lakewood is getting involved, and you can have even kind of suffering. The good is that
why is a Lakewood fellow not getting involved? Because he sees it's Lubavitch? That's the problem?
Yeah, he's not getting involved in this Hakil, what do you call it, America's thing. It's not their thing. Lubavitch is their thing. We do our thing. We do Torah, we do this. If they feel it's Ervachai is Nashenu, if they realize that it's your thing, do your Shal Shuddas. We don't mind. Macha Shal Shuddas. I have no problem. I'll do my mouth. Do your Shal Shuddas. Ik is Hakel. I'm giving you a platform how you can add more Shal Shuddas in your community, among or whatever, whatever you want to do in your way, in thine oifim, then they'll buy it. That makes sense? You want to get and side Lakewood, side modern Orthodox, side every type of Jews, Sfardim, Ashkenazim, Syrians, Persians, you name it. It doesn't matter. You're Jewish, get involved, do something. You know what I'm saying? You want to empower each person in their oifim. Make any sense? I don't think that's happening. Is that happening in your opinion, Rabbi Silverstein?
That's what Hakil is all about, and that's what.
In other words, like this. This is a very fine line, and it's amazing. I think people are not getting back to this point, which is that
we still didn't catch the Malach who's typing here.
Yeah,
it's not typing. It's something on the.
No, it's my table. It's shaking. So I'm getting it when I'm putting my hand on the table. It happens. I think. It's like this. This is a fine line. We always used to Miftzayim. The Rebbe talks to us. And then it says we have to do, and we go out and we shturim, and it's a matzah. We're giving out matzah to everybody. Everybody says tefillin. We're gonna go wrap everyone tefillin, and we're the ones doing, and that's it. That's where it stops. That's where it starts, and that's where it stops. What's the whole change of Hakil? Is we're doing, but what are we doing? We're doing. The mitzvah Hakil is that we are just there to fuel everybody else to do. The whole Nakud is that everyone else should do, not that we should do.
I can tell you that here in Montreal, that's exactly how it's presented.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I think that has to be done everywhere. So it shouldn't just
That's business people are asking their business partners to make in their office a Hakil event.
Good. And they have to have a keli to get people that are involved in their Hakil. They should also do it.
That's what
decided to want to do it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry that I.
No, that's if it's done in Montreal.
But to me,
it's done in Montreal.
this is
No.
not.
So Abzusha, how can we create this on a model on a social media platform that it starts getting viral and people just use this? I don't know, but like, the question is, what's going to be the catch? What's going to inspire people to want? When it comes to charity, people are using it because they found it to be an amazing platform to enable them to raise funds. So, like, what's going to be the Nakuda
platform? They have also assistants. I think that they also come. They have people helping them. It's there's a.
Yeah. So what's the
Nothing happens by itself. Charity doesn't happen by itself. Behind the charity, you have 100,000 people who make calls. I mean, nothing happens by itself.
Yeah.
Everything. There's two things that happen by themselves: dust and Schwemmlach. Everything else darf man arbeiten. I mean, this is the only things that happen by themselves, right? Mushrooms and
But they empower people to work.
So I think I hear what you're saying. So maybe the way to go about it is to contact those existing Hakel committees, VADs, etc. I know in New York they made there's the Hakel VAD, which is Shlomi Napastik with Muller Butman, with Mendel Raskin, there was a whole VAD, Oilomi, Adrabe. Discuss with them, besides just sitting there giving aids, was the Zweite Sultan, and they created a number of nice things. Maybe they can work on it to do it on the social media. Adrabe. I know that in Israel, Hakel is extremely popular. But the Mela, maybe, as you said, it didn't reach the street, the Ragle de Talmudoy, maybe. So this is, but I don't think there's any place or need now to go create a new.
Here's the question of Azusha. They have this fine. They have like, is there a website I can see how many people signed up for Hakel this year so far?
I think so.
Yeah, they showed it at the Kinnus.
They gave out.
How many people signed up so far?
I didn't follow. I don't know.
Over 1,000?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. I know that here in Montreal.
Well, if you don't know about it, and you know about all the Hakels, how is anyone else going to know about it? The point is that these numbers is meant to be a propeller for more people to get involved.
Good. But don't measure by me. I mean, don't measure by me. That's what I'm saying. Go back to those who are doing it. Those who are.
I never heard of the numbers. You never heard of the numbers, and we both never heard of the numbers. Something is wrong here.
So that's why. So this is where they need some encouragement. They need some input. They need some advice. They need some adrab. How can we help you?
I mean, the sukkahs are there. I mean, I'm sure they're the sukkahs.
What is it? I think in Times Square I think it's there that there's this huge thing that counts the national debt. A huge, big thing, electronic thing. There should be something like that planted somewhere that counts all the people that are joining Hakel.
You just needed a website. All you need is a website.
Yeah.
My first thing would be to go to these people and ask them, speak to them, advise them, encourage them. You need help. We'll see what we can get you help. But to Gemach gets a new Moiset, quote unquote, the Nochavad. I mean, there's no point reinventing the wheel if all we need is just to turn that wheel. The wheel is there. Adrab, help to turn it.
Yeah, that is true. That is a good point. Also, raise a mitzvah is not included.
No, that's what I'm saying. Raise a mitzvahs, and Hakel never spoke about people. The call Godel is people.
People doing mitzvahs.
Want to get people. The word is Hakel. You want to gather Yidden, not gather mitzvahs. Maybe that's the next level.
Hold on a minute. Hakel gather Yidden and do what? Just gather Yidden? That's the mitzvah of Hakel.
That is mitzvah Hakel is you want to gather. Each person signs up a card.
Have to run to a prison.
Yeah, I also have to run. Okay, so I think
signs a card.
So
and we have to do something. What's with the Rosh Chodesh Nissen? We have to know. We spoke to Laser.
I'm waiting to hear from Ger Shiavtsin if you got any response.
That's for the monthly. I'm talking about what we're doing Rosh Chodesh Nissen.
Didn't hear anything.
Laser was busy till after Chanukah.
Okay. We have to go back to after Chanukah. Okay.
You will excuse me. I Shukayach.
Shukayach.
We need
very geschmack.
Very powerful, but I'm just thinking that you should take this message to where it could actually be carried out.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Again, I'm going to excuse myself. I should. It's Chanukah around here too, I guess.
Yeah.
In California, it's not in the free. Very schon nachts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeshkoyach. Thank you.
Veilig en Chanukah.
Veilig en Chanukah.
So I doesn't let you down.
These galas now.
No. It's good. We need to.
This is being recorded.
The kernel is there. The idea is there. Minatzchim, a lot of people are going to watch this.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss the Inyanim are hopefully, here. And the idea is a very powerful one. Question is, like, as Zush is also right, the Inyanim, the people are here with it. there needs to be an
That's why I
Israel
gave that very, that's why I gave that very long hakdama. that was the reason that I knew his answer before he even said it, because I know what it is. This is the problem. Yeah, everyone's doing great things. Everyone's stuck in their own little thing. And the secret over here is to have a Mashiach look. Mashiach look is the Achdus. That was my first point I made, because I think that's really the most important thing. Vayakul days. To look at it, to have the look as another Yid, as the Chelik Hamal Mamish. You look at the other Yid, what is he? He's the Meshachist, he's not a Meshachist. You're looking at Chitzainis already. He's a reformed, he's a Misnagid, he's a Chassidish. Don't look at a Yid, look at a Geula.
Catch the Etzem. This is it. We're gathering the Etzem of every Yid.
Number one, and therefore you want every single Yid. I'm not happy with my 12, 20 people in my community. That's about the tzave. If one Yid in this world doesn't know about the Rebbe, is not involved in Hakel, ich bin nicht zufrieden. You know what I'm saying? You need to create a platform. That's what I'm saying. The Eitzah of Einetz Veda Drai should be an Eitzah that could be a Geuldik way that you.
Okay, so I know what we need to do.
Follow what I'm saying?
Okay,
people don't get that. People don't care.
Let me shift this. Shluchim over here, inspired and so on and so forth. What we need to gather for this is a chevre of young, entrepreneurial type of Lubavitcher chevre that have an incredible. I know these younger chevre that have an unbelievable understanding of social media.
Yeah,
we're talking about a group of guys that are between 17 and 32.
Probably people that are involved already.
That are willing.
Opa, you got stuck. Hello.
It's not for as you're saying, this is a futuristic type of thing. We're using, and that's who's going to make this happen.
Yes.
And they're looking for something like this.
Exactly.
In other words, they feel this can speak to a lot of these young Lubavitchers.
You got it, Rabbi Wolf. You
want to do something big. Yeah, that's who I think needs to be brought together.
You just need to be inspired with the achterstike
of unifying every single Yid. That's all.
Basically, you want to reach to every Yid, bring them under the Rebbe's wings. Yeah. Every single Yid, Kabbalas Machos of the Rebbe, in a way that they understand it. Kabbalas Machos doesn't mean, it means Pashat, do something for the Rebbe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're not necessarily fully aware that it's Rebbe, but doesn't have to do.
But the Rebbe is Etzem. What is Etzem? What is Rebbe? How do you find Rebbe?
Yeah, it's Rebbe is the inspiration in the world, the force that drives everything.
Exactly. To make you a leader, that's the Rebbe. If you're becoming a leader, that's the Rebbe.
Malchus is leadership. Leadership
and leadership inspire you to be Malchus.
And an influencer. That's the Nakuda. What do people always say? What's like the main line that people love saying about the Rebbe? That the Rebbe didn't create followers, he created leaders. So that's the Nakuda. Everybody becomes a leader. Everybody becomes an influencer.
Exactly.
Today's words are influencers. That's what people use. So when we get together a chevra that are going to turn every single Jew across the world into an influencer, in influencing, but there has to be some kind of a we're getting you to a hakel, but from every hakel turns in 10 other hakels, and those 10 hakels turn in others. So there has to be some kind of a platform that people will meet.
You use all the existing ones.
Yeah, well,
you can use all the existing platforms, but there has to be a central unifier that all the numbers from all the other platforms all feed into that one place, so you can see.
Yes.
You follow what I'm saying? You should be able to sign up to your Hakel card.
I had this idea a few years ago. I came to 770. I spoke Chavches Sivan. Chavches Nisa. I spoke in 770 like three years before COVID, the year before. And I had an idea then. I presented it later by the Fabrengen. It was called Geula Minyanim. Is that there should be tons and groups, and there should be one center where you have 10 people together, form a group once a week, something like this Minatzchim. Now today it's Chanukah, so a lot of people didn't join. It's Chavra out, and so it's a bissel. I thought that Chanukah might be an inspiration for more people to come. But Shluchim have big programs.
Yes,
big Shluchim have big programs. So what happens is that there's a group of 10 Chavra You said can be Cheder boys. They have a Geula group, which means once a week they meet.
I believe
They
I
take
was
upon
here.
themselves
I
achlokes.
was by your speech, I believe. I heard it.
And then others should make other 10, and then the 10, and everybody's sending these
Right. By
achlokes.
Kinnis, they
So you're
spoke about it
growing all these
also.
groups. That's kind of the same idea.
By the Kinnis, I believe by the Kinnis, Mendy Rubenfeld or others spoke about it by the Kinnis HaShluchim that year. Ken Zayn?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I never got it past. I know that I spoke about it in Beis Rivka, and the girls were talking about it.
Somebody spoke about it by the Kinnis, how they do it, and they recommended everyone to join one. You remember that?
No, that was before this. Yeah, that was Stam. That there's that Chevre meet Akshanim group. That was that they meet once a year. So this was going to be. I had a whole system that you whatever. But this is the Nakuda. But over here, it's like just. It's to reach every single yid, not just Lubavitchers to do it.
Everyone has a cell phone in their pocket. Tell me one guy doesn't have a cell phone.
So but 1 second. So when they're meeting, so you're creating a meeting, and what are you talking about in that meeting? You're unifying for what? As a Jew, you're unifying as Jews to produce good in the world, or to produce mitzvah, to produce kedusha. It has to be something. It has to be a toichen, because you're going to have people who are. Give an example.
So you describe what hakel is. Man yishmu, man yimuliras Hashem.
So that has to be. There has to be to increase.
Good. Yeah. So it's very general. It doesn't say what it is. Yishmu, yimuliras Hashem. Something to add in here. Because
the Chavre was on Maganza andere Teure, which to them das is the Heiligkeit. The Heiligkeit is the campaign for rights, for whatever. Versteh? So there has to be
Hashem. You have to. Eibush has to be involved somewhere.
Yeah, Eibush has to be involved with it. Yeah, that's it.
Hashem. Because it is Hashem. That's the main thing I would say. Now, interesting. I just want to comment about, if you look into the Sikha, how the Rebbe describes the phone, Memches, right? The Rebbe talks about how people. There's a big veer, I think, that he comes on Shabbos. He can't stop thinking about his phone. He's like, what could I do? How could I make another phone call? How could I make another business deal? Whatever, like an addiction to the phone, right? Mm-hmm. So then we think it was only shaykh to some Gevir too, that the Rebbe was talking about, maybe Jimmy Garari, who knows what the Rebbe had in mind. But when in today's day and age, you look at it, you read the words, and you say, wow, literally the Rebbe is describing from a normal person how they're addicted to their phone. They need to have their phone on Shabbos. They're looking, can't wait. The Shabbos, I'll check the messages, It's amazing. You see clearly how the Rebbe viewed the whole thing.
Okay, so I think I have an idea.
I can think of two people right now, or maybe more, that are this could fall under this category of social media. Well, there's two parts here. There's the social media experts, the people that are like very into pushing things on social media.
Yeah.
And then there's creating platforms. There's the hardware and the software types.
Yeah.
You need both of these types.
Yes. Yeah. When I was meeting in Lechatchila for the Kabbalah Samalchus campaign, I got a couple of young guys. They were very excited, but I think some people still have hesitation if you're dealing with who, what, where, and when. They don't feel that it's the most important thing. They feel uncomfortable. So I think and they were ready to create something. They wanted to do Beis Hamikdash. Everybody should buy a piece of the Beis Hamikdash. That was the guy's thought. He's building a virtual Beis Hamikdash. Everybody. It's a hakel, but every yid is having he's literally building an NFT. That's what it was. NFTs, which whatever. We're creating a Beis Hamikdash. So they have these wild ideas, and they're chevra with money even that want to build something. So we have to brainstorm. Anyways, I'm gonna have to go.
Good. Okay.
Wat gerät wegen dem? Wat gerät wegen dem mit 3 Jeden, mit 4 Jeden, mit 5 Jeden, und von dem wird wachsen. Gut, das sei. Das ist Hashem.
But I really believe the most important thing here is the external will come like this. I think if we can overcome, bring the Mashiach approach. I just want to tell you, my wife works for Mashiach office, and she's telling she whatever. I knew about this hakel thing. They had meetings in the summer, and she wanted. I said, invite me. I told you my mice with hakel, and I'll tell you another time. I have like a very interesting story with hakel, but they never invited me to these meetings. My wife is knee deep into this whole everything they do. she's the best guy that yeah, what's his name? Sheikh office. What's his name? The Parsec has. Everything goes through my wife. She's. I'm just saying, but I wasn't involved. I wasn't invited.
Okay,
I wasn't,
okay.
Just saying that.
Okay.
They gave this.
Okay, so we have to write, it has to be written up very clearly in a short whatever, and or presented really, really strongly. And let's see where we're going to go with it. But we definitely have to work with this.
Right. So I wrote the Bimah Gdela because I'm not whatever. I wrote it very
Yeah.
focused on Sichis, and I realized that it went over most people's heads. I realized that. I know I have to read it in English and write it brach with Haktan. I know that.
Yeah.
That's
I saw
what
that
really
you're talking.
People missing everything. Everything is.
Yeah, because I'm getting that you're touching and you're relying that people are really chapping the sikha very deeply and they're chapping the connection.
No one's chapping. I don't know one's chapping. I know. I realize that. That's better than nothing.
Okay.
But I realize that it needed step 2. I know that.
Yeah.
And after start, you have to do it.
Okay. So now we have a Gilead Atzilus, and we have to bring it through B'riyah Tzir and Asiyah.
Yeah. But you like my connection to the Chav Chasivin? Oh, you do the same thing. Very good. They're on the same line.
No, I'm with you on this. I'm really with you on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's Hashem.
Now. Okay. Good.
Yes. Amen.